Oh, hi. My name is Ross Clay, and I live here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I happily escaped from Los Angeles, where I lived there some 35 plus years. Now, this channel that I've put together, on Patreon, the Santa Fe Man, is really about everything good about the West. Its history, music, its critters, its horses and dogs, the arts, native life. And I promise you this, with me, I'm always going to throw in a little bit of humor so that you and we can have a chuckle and a chortle or two, at least have a good way to start the day. What brought me here to the land of enchantment was that my work professionally brought me here, and I knew somebody here from my past who had a little bit of property for sale, and I certainly bought it, and that's where I'm residing now. Santa Fe, the city different. The reason they call it the city different is because it's so diverse. It's got different people, different cultures, and it's got great history, remarkable history. And many in America don't know anything about that history here of really the first capital of the United States. The area, what is known now as Santa Fe, was originally occupied by the indigenous people called the Pueblo people. Pueblo meaning from the Spanish, those that build houses with stone and adobe. The Pueblos had been here, some 900 to 1150 AD. So they were here quite some time. The Pueblos had built a number of villages around in this area, and the earliest known settlements is what today is known as Santa Fe, and that dates around 900 AD. They had a cluster of homes that were pretty interesting, and that's centered from the site, the plaza of Santa Fe, to maybe a half a mile south and west. The village was called, in those days, bear with me, Uja Pueje, after a Tewa dialect of the Pueblo. It's a mouthful. Fred Flintstone didn't have anywhere near what these people had. I'll tell you that. They had Wi-Fi of the day, and that was, choral shouting without any downtime. No lag time. Just get in there and shout. Take out and take in. That just really depended on the hunt and the catch of the day. Pueblo raves. You bring your own drum, face paint, and then you step into it. That's about it. And then their version of barbecue. Now, their barbecue, I wasn't particular. The research I did wasn't hankering for. There's just something about brisket of lizard that just doesn't sound good to me. But all in all, it was a happening kind of place. And then when the Spanish got here, they said, you know something? This looks pretty good. Now, the water is always an issue in the desert. And these Pueblo people settled along the Santa Fe River. The Santa Fe River is a babbling brook. It gets a little bigger as it goes downstream. But one thing's for sure. That's sweet water, and boy, it makes good coffee. Real good. The first to colonize was the first governor, Don Juan de Ente. He led the first European effort to colonize this region in 1598. He established Santa Fe de Nuevo de Mexico as a province, a kind of resort area where you got plenty of mud baths, piñatas for your birthday, and ample sunbathing. It was that kind of thing. But in colonizing this region, southwest, the Spanish colonists were made of Spanish and hired mercenaries, and of course their families. Those mercenaries were made up of everybody, French, English, German, you name it, they all came, because they all signed on with the idea of get rich quick when they discovered the cities of gold, according to myth. They managed to find some gold, and the native populace gave them a little bit, but not much, because you got to understand here, those mercenaries were a stinky bunch. Poor hygiene, mange, toothless wonders, and the word fugly comes to mind. What the things that I've read, they were an ugly bunch. So of course the natives, the locals here weren't apt to give them much. They wanted to make it hard for them. You know, under the first governor, Juan Duranete, and his son, the capital of the province was settled, and the settlement was near San Juan de los Caballeros, which means San Juan of the Good Friends, I guess, you know. And north of Santa Fe, near the Ocre Pueblo. Did you get all that? I hope so. Now, New Mexico's second governor, he was a piece of work, Don Pedro Toporelta. However, he founded a new city, and it was at the foothills right of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, that is the Blood of Christ Mountains, in 1607. He kind of liked it there. It had good water, you know, it had some shade, and he could get a nice bowl of chicken soup. So, you know, he said, why not? This would be a good place to be. The real Villa de Santa Fe de San Francisco de Asisa was established by this governor, Don Pedro, in honor of St. Francis of Assisi, and that's where we get the name of Santa Fe. Fe is in honor of St. Francis. I think that's kind of cool. Now, in the year of 1610, Old Don designated the settlement as the capital of the province, which it remained mostly, making it the oldest colonized state capital in the United States. Santa Fe, the city different, and boy, there was trade going on, I'll tell you, because of where it was situated in terms of the commerce and trails. But all was not good. No, all was not good. You see, the Pueblos were not happy about all this, because here's these new settlers and visitors all on the onslaught of coming in, and more is coming in, and which made it worse. What made it worse is that these immigrant aliens felt entitled to everything. The nerve, you know. They wouldn't clean their rooms. That's right, Tamiki. They wouldn't clean their rooms. They wouldn't eat their vegetables. They wouldn't wash their hands, and they'd blow their nose in the streets. Think about that. They were blowing shooters on the sidewalk. Shocking. So a revolt ensued. The Pueblo Revolt, as it's known. And Lordy, it was serious, because at least those Pueblo folks were so irate that they killed some 400 settlers here in this area. They weren't happy. Oh, it was a heck of a fight. They drove the Spanish out of here, and in so doing, they set up a treaty. Now, this treaty was drawn between the Pueblo people and Don Diego. Old Don signed it with his tail between his legs, because these Pueblo people won that revolt with knives, wit, and big rocks. And old Don, even though he was scared to death, he didn't want to get killed by a big old rock. So all was pretty good. And when I say pretty good, and the people, they celebrated their independence from about 1680 to 1692. Clean streets, no shooters, all was good for the Pueblo people, except during this time. Old Don Diego was plotting in the wings and waiting. Well, after some 10 years, he reconquered the territory. Yeah, we rounded him up and he reconquered the area. But he promised the Pueblos something. Yeah, 3-day work week, ice cream, unicorns, free health care, and not much. That's about it. Just a lot of empty promises. What else is new? But the city of Santa Fe remained Spain's provincial seat until the Mexican War of Independence, that is 1810. The city's status as a capital of the Mexican territory of Santa Fe de Nuevo Mexico was formalized in 1824 Constitution after Mexico achieved independence from Spain. Oh, yay, we're free, you know. Oh, there was a fiesta. They had a heck of a fiesta. Oh, my gosh. They had a lot of tequila shooters and, you know, real brisket and barbecue and this new thing called Navajo tacos, but I'll get into that later. And, you know, they had Oh, they even had a new game. It was called Pin the Tail on the Donkey and Try Not to Get Kicked or it'll go to the moon, you know? Uh, and it was a good old time. But I just want to emphasize how important the history is here in Santa Fe because this is a remarkable place and the history continues. I mean, as we get into the cowboy lore and also the trails of the great cattle drives here, you've got people like Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett. Jesse James even came through here and Kit Carson. But I'll get into all that as our segments develop. Well, I've enjoyed our little visit and I appreciate your patience with me. I keep copious notes when I talk with you. But I want to let you get on with your day and I thank you all kindly, most kindly. And if you would, please subscribe. We could use your support because we're going to be on an adventure with this. Oh, and I'll respond to each and every one of you when you can contact me. I look forward to it, actually. You know, I want to thank you so kindly. I want you to make it a great day. This is Ross Clay, Santa Fe Man.